Look, I've been too negative with the WWE lately. So today, we're going to talk about some positives. Before we get started, though, why don't you hit that button to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. We're trying to post every single day on this channel. So why don't you come and be on this journey with us? Now let's talk wrestling. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I have been very negative with the WWE lately. I've been talking about how stories don't move quick enough, how we're lacking characters, we're lacking storylines. So today, we're going to talk about three things that I'm currently enjoying with the WWE. The first thing, I'm really enjoying this whole Jey Uso story, right? I feel like we're developing this character into something more than just a yeet machine. Which, by the way, I'm not against the yeet machine, right? Like, I feel like there's always that like super baby face at any point in the WWE, and that all like the kids like gravitate towards. Let's not forget that this is essentially a kid friendly brand. So we need a hero for the kids to gravitate towards, to sell the merch, to be the to have the phrase that everyone's repeating in and outside of wrestling. And Jey Uso fits that role very well. Yes, I think we can all agree that he needs to do a little bit more than just be that yeet machine, to be that catchphrase, to do, hey, Oos, yeet. I'm here to fight you, Oos, yeet. Right? Like, we need more than that, right? So, like, this, like, darkness that's taking over Jey, this, like, corruption and greed, about maybe I do need to look out for myself and no one else, right? Like this bad influence from Roman Reigns. Um, it's been really intriguing, right? Because Roman isn't that bad guy anymore, right? Like even within story, like yeah, like he still has that tough persona, right? He still has that like beat everyone, pin them, then leave kind of thing, right? Like he's still that badass, but he is a baby face now, right? He just is. He got betrayed by the biggest heel in the company, which is Paul Heyman. That essentially makes him a baby face. Right? So it's interesting that he's the one on Jey Uso's shoulder, right? Being like, you need to look out for yourself, right? Like, you need to be a little bit more selfish. You need to go after that title. You are the next tribal chief, kind of thing. It's an intriguing story. I don't know where they're gonna go with it, but I'm here for it. Now, this developing story that is happening in the background, all this between Jey and his brother Jimmy, right? Where it feels like Jimmy can see this transformation happening in his brother and he's trying to help him, but he's also like trying to watch from afar to see what exactly is going on. That's really intriguing as well, mostly because we've already had that falling out between Jimmy and Jey at WrestleMania 40, right? With that not so great match. I don't know that I want to see it again. The only difference, though, is that in that match, Jimmy was the heel and Jey was the face. So perhaps what they're trying to do is they're trying to flip the script and have that same story be told, but from different perspectives. I don't know that I want to see it, but I don't know that I'd look away either. Let's hope that if this match does happen, it just provides more entertainment than that first match, that it's not a super kick machine match. Let's have this be a more emotional story if we decide to tell it again. And perhaps that is what Triple H and WWE are trying to do. Perhaps they're trying to right that wrong. I can't help but be very interested to see how this story develops. So, good job, WWE. This next one might be a little biased from my end. If you've seen my previous videos, you would know by now that I'm a big fan of everything Bray Wyatt and everything Wyatt 6. So this story that they're trying to tell with the Wyatts and the Street Profits is honestly one of the only things that has me watching Friday Night SmackDown. Uncle Howdy kind of being this again, voice over your shoulder to Angelo Dawson, right? Your brother doesn't care about you. You guys aren't blood. You guys aren't actually brothers. We're actual brothers in the Wyatt family. We're family. You guys aren't family. Your brother's not looking out for you. He's only looking out for himself. And they're fighting it and they're fighting it, but you can see Angelo Dawson's face change. And even when Montez Ford was attacking Uncle Howdy a few weeks back, in the background, Montez was just kind of looking at this like, I think he's right. And I think that if the Street Profits were to break up, it would be an amazing match. That fallout would be an amazing match, right? These two guys have really great chemistry as a tag team, obviously. But watching them go one on one against each other, they're both really athletic wrestlers who can go. Right? Angelo Dawson does not get enough credit with his in-ring ability, right? Montez Ford is flashy. He does the whole he's the one who does the high flying stuff, and great. That's amazing. But don't sleep on Angelo. This guy can go. These two would have some bangers in the ring together. It would probably be a multi-match story, right? Probably leading up to WrestleMania. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. It's not. It's something that they had been like they'd mentioned it before, right? Like even since the old man was there, there was news about him wanting to push Montez Ford. Everybody was afraid that he would be the Shawn Michaels to Angelo Dawson's Marty Jannetty. I don't think there's a Marty Jannetty here. I think that it would benefit both of them to break up, have their own singles run. If it doesn't work out, eventually let's just bring them back together. Let's have them have that moment that is definitely going to be emotional for everyone if they do decide to get back together and be a tag team. There's no losing here. I'm liking the way that this story is being told. Now, I also like the Wyatt Six's role in all of this. When they first came into this company and they made their debut by attacking Chad Gable, they explained themselves as being this force that fights the corrupted, right? Chad Gable had turned his back on his brothers in the Alpha Academy, and that is why he was being targeted, right? They target families that break up. So if the Street Profits are these brothers, this family that are actually in turmoil, right? Because one of them is looking out for their own interests over the interests of both, it makes perfect sense that they would be the ones to expose this. What I do need is I need some sort of proof from the Wyatts. I need Uncle Howdy to come up to Angelo and be like, "Did you hear what your brother said, my brother?" Something to prove his point. And it could be a little bit twisted, right? Maybe it could be not necessarily the truth, since they are playing the heels in this whole thing. But I'm liking it. This is one story that has me interested in the Wyatt Six again, right? They came in hot, and for a long time we were like, "Oh, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?" And it kind of just fizzled. I feel like this is ramping back up for the Wyatt Six to show their motivations, to remind everyone what they're here for, to remind everyone what their mission is. And for that, I gotta say, good job, WWE. Let's talk about my favorite story in the WWE right now, and that is the story of Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors. This story has layers, right? Because on the surface, it is the story of these three women who consider each other family, who have been through it all together. And essentially, one of them, Asuka, feeling like she's being left out by Io, right? It's her motivations aren't evil. She loves her friend, and her friend has kind of set her aside. Asuka was gone for a while, and when she came back, Io's doing all these other things and has forgotten about this friendship that when they were part of Damage Control, right? Asuka helped build Io up, right? She was looking out for her sister, and now that she's back, it's like, what happened? What happened to our friendship? What happened to us only being there for each other, right? Only looking out for one another. So her motivations make sense. At the same time, she is being a mean girl, right? She is being selfish by demanding Io only pay attention to her, and she's dragging Kairi into it as well. Kairi and Io had not had any issues until Asuka decided that they needed to have issues. So in the background, you have the story of what's going to happen to Kairi, right? Is Kairi also turning her back on Io? Right now, it seems like she is, but are those her actual motivations? Or is she just too scared to confront Asuka about it? She handed Io that picture last week. For some reason, Io looked at it backwards, not remembering how you look at a picture. But she handed Io that picture last week to remind her that she's family, to remind her that the three of them are family. So it's really unclear how Kairi's going to fit into all of this. At the same time, we're bringing Rhea Ripley into this, right? Rhea Ripley is being dragged into this because of her friendship with Io. Right? Her and Io have this respect for one another. There's the story, again, layers. There's the story of her not being able to beat Io. And in that feud of not being able to beat Io, they've wrestled what is like 3 times already in this last in this year so far. But in their struggles with each other and their matches with each other, they developed this a source of like mutual respect for one another. Io knows she has Rhea's number. Rhea has been struggling to beat Io as like that mountain that she can't conquer. But they don't hate each other for it, right? They are each other's challenges. And in that, they've developed a friendship. That is what Asuka is jealous of. Now, you put these four in the ring together, and you just have magic. Any combination of the four, I can tell you it's going to be a great match. Io versus Asuka? Yes, please. Io and Rhea versus Asuka and Kairi? Absolutely. Asuka versus Rhea? Yes. Io versus Kairi? Sure. If Io turns her back on Rhea and then they have another match together, absolutely. Maybe this is what makes Rhea finally overcome that. If Kairi and Asuka turn on each other and you have that match between the Kabuki Warriors, amazing. I'm here for it. Any combination of these four is going to result in an amazing match. And for that, great job, WWE. So there you have it. I'm trying to stay positive with WWE. It definitely has its problems right now. There's definitely frustration from all of us fans with what WWE is doing. But there is definitely a silver lining in all of this. There are definitely some pretty good stories that they're trying to tell that are working. And of course I could have honestly thrown in a few more, right? I could the whole Vision thing, while it's a little stale, right? It's still intriguing. The whole Seth Rollins thing, just growing angrier and more bitter, it's going somewhere, and I feel like it's going in a good place. The CM Punk and AJ Lee stuff, I feel like, is also, after this whole Crown Jewel thing is said and done, I feel like it's also going to lead into a pretty good direction, right? There's definite positives with WWE. And that's what we're trying to do today. We're trying to stay positive. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this positive day. As always, don't forget to drop that like on this video if you've made it this far. Drop in the comments what you're liking so far with the WWE. Keep it positive. And as always, take care of yourselves. Peace.